Now look, I didn't say anything before because I didn't want to seem like some weird flat earther with a tinfoil hat on. However, upon further inspection and after doing a little bit of my own research, I think that Infinity Ward have been up to something the past weekend, and I think that they have been messing with the Modern Warfare 2 skill-based matchmaking. Now, hear me out. What I'm about to say and the data that I'm about to give you is in no way concrete. It is not a scientific test, and it is not data that has been collected in a fair and consistent way in the way that sort of Drifter or Exclusive Ace might have done so. However, I do think that it paints a pretty good picture from what I've experienced over the weekend, and actually what a lot of people have been saying about on Reddit and Twitter, and even Exclusive Ace in his latest video. A lot of people have been talking about this, and that is the fact that before the beta opened up to the general public on Saturday, when it was a closed beta for people who had pre-ordered the game, I personally felt like the skill-based matchmaking was at least a lot turned down, if not completely off. And I want to give you some examples of what I have done and the testing that I have done within the games. Now, please bear in mind that the gameplays that I'm able to look back on are in fact the gameplays that I have done best on. This means that obviously as a YouTuber, I haven't recorded the games where I absolutely got shat on. And for that reason, I guess you could say that this data is somewhat cherry-picked. However, I do think that it still paints a good enough picture. Also, I'm going to tell you guys some KDs that I've found in these lobbies. However, what I'm not going to do is give you guys the gamer tags because I don't think that's fair to out people on my channel. Even though only a couple thousand people watch these videos, I don't think it is fair that I should actually be telling you guys people's gamer tag along with their KD. That just doesn't sit right with me. But anyway, without further ado, let's go on to the data that I've collected. So from a few games that I played on the Thursday night and the Friday morning of the beta, when it was still in closed beta just for PlayStation players and people who had pre-ordered the game, I took a couple of the KDs from a few of the matches and just sort of like averaged them out to see what the average kill death ratio from the lobbies that I was getting in was. And this is strange. So I'm going to tell you the top range on the Friday and the bottom range from what I can collect in the data I have. So the absolute bottom KD that I've found over the sort of 8 to 10 matches that I have recorded from the Friday and Thursday, the bottom KD I found was a 0.45 KD in Call of Duty Vanguard. Now, the top end of this, the top KD that I have in all of the games that I have recorded was a 1.06 in Vanguard. Now, I can't attest to what my KD was in Vanguard because I didn't fucking play it because that game looked trash. But for example, in Black Ops Cold War, my kill death ratio was 1.86. This is the sort of level that I tend to play at. I've been sat at about a 1.8 to a 2 KD for the last 15 years. I don't think I'm getting any worse, and I don't think I'm getting any better. That is exactly where I sit. Now, I would say that that is fairly above average. However, the KDs that I've come across in these matches on the Thursday night and the Friday night were well below what I would consider to be my skill bracket. That being said, this is why I made such a very positive video on Friday, and let's be honest, I had so many comments from people saying, oh look, Activision's just paid him his check, bloody shill. I had so many comments saying that I was shilling over the game, when the cold facts of the matter were, that game was completely honest, and if I was to be disingenuous, I would just be bitching about the game non-stop. But on Thursday night and Friday, and when I made the video on Saturday, I genuinely was having a very good time with this game. However, the story seemed to change once it went into open beta, and again, I do have some very limited data to back that up too. I recorded markedly less footage from the Saturday night and the Sunday. I put it down to me being tired and maybe a little bit burnt out on the beta. However, I do think that the skill-based matchmaking is higher. So for example, compared to the lowest KD that I found in the lobbies before the beta went open, which was a 0.45, the lowest KD that I had in any of the lobbies that I played in, that I've recorded, might I add, was a 1.09. Now, that by itself is fairly average. However, when you look at the top end of the KDs that I was getting in these matches, well, the top one that I found over the 5 or 6 games that I recorded during this time period, the top KD that I found was a 1.93 in Call of Duty Vanguard. And I averaged out both before and after the beta went open, and the average KD before was a 0.95 in the lobbies that I've recorded, and the average KD after the beta went open was a 1.36. Now, obviously, like I said before, take this with a grain of salt. I'm not a data analyst. I am just a sort of ginger-bearded nerd who's a builder by day and just loves Call of Duty and making videos. So I'm in no way a credible source when it comes to actual data and actual graphs and plotting this data. However, what I can tell you is from the information that I have gathered from these limited resources that I have, I would almost say with like 75% certainty that there was a markable difference between the skill-based matchmaking on the Friday and the Thursday and the Saturday morning to what it turned to on the Saturday night, the Sunday and the Monday after the beta went open. Now, there is a reason I can think of this. Before that, the people that would be playing the game would be the die-hard Call of Duty fans, the people who had either been on PlayStation, which a lot of the people that are playing on PlayStation for the beta, a lot of them have PlayStations for the sole fact that there is an exclusivity with Call of Duty, but also the main point is the other people that were playing are the people that even before seeing the beta have already dropped money on pre-ordering this game. Now, when the beta opens, that means that your average Joe joins into the mix, people that aren't sold on Call of Duty, people that are on the fence, and people that Activision need to win over. As well as this, the people that are sat on the fence are probably not the same people who have been playing Call of Duty for years and years. These are going to be newer players. These are going to be more casual players, and as such, to get them interested in the game, you cannot have them running into people who have been playing the game for 15 years, bunny hopping around corners and one-tapping him in the head with a Mark II carbine. That is going to put off any casual player that picks up this game. So what I'm suggesting is that when this game went to open beta, either Infinity Ward or Activision or whoever is pulling the bloody strings upstairs, something happened and they turned up the skill-based matchmaking to protect these newer players. This means that they are able to change this on the fly. This means that if they wanted to, they could turn skill-based matchmaking off or turn it down completely. This means that they are actively changing how the game plays and how the game feels so that they can increase their market sales. Now, I don't care what you think about skill-based matchmaking, you have to see this as a seedy tactic. Either they are fooling us who pre-ordered the game into thinking that there is less skill-based matchmaking so we love the game, or they are not going to have as strict a skill-based matchmaking when the game drops, and so they are fooling people who are yet to pre-order the game and making them think that it's going to be a much more easy experience for them. Either way, whichever side of the fence you sit on, I think you should probably agree that that's pretty fucking seedy. But anyway, that's the data I found. I'm not sure how credible it is, but I would say that I have raised some good points, and I would say that what I have found at least raises the question about the seediness and the tactics that are being used in Modern Warfare 2. But anyway, I'd love to hear what you guys think about it down in the description below. For those of you who have watched my videos for a while, you'll know that I love to see who sticks around until the end. So if you're still here, I'd like you to let me know by answering this question down in the comments. If you could take one pill a day so that you would not have to eat again and get all the nutrients you need, would you take that pill? Anyway, that's it from me today. I'm Average Joel. Peace.